Hello friends, welcome to our channel Google Galaxy. Today we are going to discuss about the balanced and the unbalanced chemical equation. These substances which combined or react are known as reactants. When the two substances react, a new substance is formed with different properties we called as product. If a piece of wood will change into the coal, this wood will act as reactant and the coal is acting as product. This arrow key pointing towards right hand side put between the reactant and the product. This arrow key indicates that the substance written on the left hand side are combining to give a substance what is combining along with wood air. The substances written on the left hand side are combining to give substances written on the right hand side in the equation. We call left hand side as reactant, we call this one as product. We also called this one as shorthand method of representing the chemical equation. Suppose if a teacher gives you a lengthy sentence that when we react zinc metal with the dilute sulfuric acid, when a zinc metal react with the sulfuric acid, it will form zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. It becomes so lengthy while writing. So we need some symbols, we need some formulae to represent in the form of equation this whole lengthy sentence in the form of equation. So how we can write it? We write, first of all we write it as zinc plus sulfuric acid. Just correct the spelling of sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid, PHURIC, sulfuric acid. Then we are having the zinc sulfate, it will form the zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas, hydrogen gas. This is known as word equation. We can change this word equation into a chemical equation by writing the symbols and formulae by various substances in place of their name. So the symbol of zinc is Zn, sulfuric acid is H2SO4. This one is formulae. We are having the zinc sulfate 2 plus SO4 2 minus. If we just crisscross it, the 2 will cancel out. It will form ZnSO4. Make sure that you have do crisscross in the junior classes. So we call this side as reactant, this side as product. So overall equation becomes Zn plus H2SO4 give rise to zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. A balanced chemical equation has equal number of elements in the reactant side and the product side. So let us count number of atoms of all elements in the reactant and product side separately. So what we see that the zinc is having one atom, one is already present. If 2 is present, we will multiply these two. So 1 multiplied by 2, hydrogen is equals to 2, sulfur is equals to 1 multiplied by 1. This one will react with the whole number of atoms. This one will multiply 1, sulfur is equals to 1, oxygen is equals to 1 multiplied by 4. So we write as 4. So similarly we are having the zinc is equals to 1, sulfur is equals to 1, hydrogen is equals to 2, and the oxygen is equals to 1 multiplied by 4 is 4. So in this whole chemical equation, all the number of atoms of each element, or I can say or various elements in reactant and products are equal, we can say that a balanced equation has equal number of atom on reactant and product side. Let's talk about, we called this equation as balanced. Let's talk about the unbalanced equation. Unbalanced equation. We say unbalanced chemical equation has unequal number of atoms on reactant and product side. On reactant and product side. Reactant and product side. And how we can balance it? Let's talk about it. We are having reactant as well as product. So if I just say that the hydrogen burns in oxygen to form water, it becomes lengthy. How we can write in the form of equation? We say a hydrogen burns, the symbol for hydrogen is H2. Hydrogen burns in oxygen. Remember one thing, that how to write these equations, we can write with the help of crisscross formula. Just look out for 9th class atoms and molecules chapter. So this one is the symbol for hydrogen oxygen. When hydrogen burns in oxygen, it will gives out the water. So let's count the number of atoms in both reactant and the product side. Here hydrogen is equals to 1 multiplied by 2. Oxygen is equals to 1 multiplied by 2. Oxygen is also 2. But over here on the product side, we say hydrogen is equals to 1 multiplied by 2. Oxygen is equals to 1 multiplied by 1. 1 is present over here already. 1 multiplied by 1, we say 1 atom. So here we say that in this reaction, H2 and O2 are reactant and H2O is product. If we just count the number of atoms on the both sides, the number of hydrogen atoms are equal on both sides, but the number of oxygen atoms are unequal. There are 2 oxygen atoms present on the left side, but only 1 oxygen atom on the right side. To have 2 oxygen atoms on the right hand side, we will multiply this H2O with 2. If I just remember this one is the way of balancing the chemical equation. You have to learn as it is. We call this method as heat and trial method. You have to learn this method as it is. So to make it balance, we will multiply this H2O with 2. So when we multiply this equation with 2, multiply by 2 is equals to 2. So now just count it again. Hydrogen becomes 2, oxygen becomes 2. Hydrogen becomes 2 to 4. 2 to becomes 4. So here oxygen becomes 2 multiplied by O. 1 is already present over here. It becomes 2. So now hydrogen becomes unbalanced. Oxygen become balanced. So here 4. So with what value I will multiply this 2 to becomes 4? I will definitely multiply with 2, and we will write this 2 with the hydrogen on the left hand side. We will multiply H2 by 2 and write it as 2H2 So overall atoms becomes 2 to 4. 2 to 4. Oxygen becomes 2 again. Hydrogen becomes 4. Oxygen becomes 2. So we call this equation as balance equation. Why is it so? Because in total number of atoms on the reactant and the product side, are equal. After doing some practice, you will find that there is no need to write so many steps to balance this equation. We will then be able to balance an equation in just one step. This is how we can balance and unbalance the chemical equation. Let's talk about then another example. We are having the methane. This one is the formula for methane. Formula for methane is CH4 react with the oxygen to form CO2 and the H2O. CO2 H2O is product and these are reactants. So before balancing it, let's count the various atoms in both sides. We are having the carbon is equals to 1 multiplied by 4, hydrogen is equals to 4. Here 1 is present, 1 multiplied by 2, oxygen is equals to 2. So here 1 is present already. Okay, whether we write or not, it does not matter. So number of carbon atom is 1, oxygen is equals to, hydrogen is equals to hydrogen, 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. So what about the oxygen? Remember one thing, whenever there is a plus sign, we will need to just add these, add number of oxygen atoms. We are having the 1 multiplied by 2, 2 atoms oxygen over here and 1 atom over here. So overall becomes 3 oxygen atoms. Remember this thing. So the number of carbon atoms are equal on both sides, 1 each, but the number of hydrogen atoms and the oxygen atoms are not equal. There are 4 hydrogen atoms on the left side, only 2 hydrogen atoms on the right side. To have hydrogen atom on the right side, we will multiply this H2O with 2. So multiply with 2 is equals to becomes 4. We will write this 2 value in front of H2O. Remember one thing, we will never place in between. We will never write as subscript over here. We will just add this value always in front of the whole molecule. So overall becomes hydrogen becomes 2 to 4, oxygen becomes 2 multiplied by O, 2 oxygen, 2 over here, 1 multiplied by 2, oxygen atoms 2 plus 2 oxygen atom over here. So overall becomes 2 plus 2, 4 oxygen atoms over here. So but on the left hand side, but we will see carbon is already balanced, hydrogen becomes balanced now. So we are having the unbalanced oxygen atom. So to make it balance, we will multiply this right hand side with suitable number 2 to make it 4 to make it equal to product side. So overall becomes 4. We will write this value 2 in front of this molecule. So overall becomes 2 to 4. I'll just repeat again. Never write this value, or we can say never write in between. You have to just write in front of whole molecule. This chemical equation contains an equal number of various types of atom in the reactant and the product. So we call this is as balanced chemical equation.